Now, Wyclef Jean is a world-renowned artist who was very, 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 very instrumental in the music industry due to the fact that he was able to present his Haitian culture and achieve a monumental amount of success while doing so. Now, his involvement in the industry and his presentation and his demonstration of his culture is what really put on for the nation's integrity altogether. Now, Wyclef Jean was born by the name of Nel Us Wyclef Jean and was born in the Quadebouquet section of Haiti in October 17th, 1969. Jean's parents had left Haiti and they went to the States, left him behind, and he was raised by a few family members, but that especially of his grandmother. Now, up until the age of 9, he was staying in Haiti, but he moved to Brooklyn, New York, and was living in what was called the Marlborough Projects in Coney Island. Now, through his teen years, he was very intrigued with music. That's when his passion began to grow as he was working in the church with his father, who was a minister, and he was a part of the music department. From there, as he grew older, he began exploring different genres, different forms of music. And then from there, he actually went on to form a collective, that with an individual of Prakazrel, which would be referred to as Praz, and also Miss Lauren Hill. Now, their debut project, which was released, was a little unsuccessful, but it wasn't until the sophomore project, which was called The Score, which is where things really shook up, as they were able to sell more than 18 million copies and won a total of 2 Grammy Awards. 2 Grammy Awards. And then, of course, they received many other nominations and were able to see the Academy Awards as well. But that alone was able to speak for the power and the monument that the album was able to set for each member of the group, being that they didn't stay as a group for long. Eventually, each member broke off and started doing their own thing. Miss Lauren Hill was able to go on and have her own accolades as she released her projects and did her own thing. And then Wyclef Jean was able to continue his music career, and he went on to work with many other big name artists. And whether it was just being in the songs with them or producing the tracks, even songwriting for that matter, he worked with artists such as Mary J. Blige, Patti LaBelle, Monica, Missy Elliott, Whitney Houston, and many more, so to speak. One thing about his music is that he incorporates his younger life, whether it came from his harsh living in Haiti to his life in Brooklyn, and even to his life in Newark, New Jersey. Being that none of those areas really were the safest, so to say. But he incorporates the life that he lived from young in order to be an inspiration to those that might have a similar background. So that way, many people would be able to gravitate and appeal to his music, no matter where you were from. With that being said, he was able to achieve very monumental heights within his career. He was able to see many different faces and see many different places. Fortunately enough, he took it upon himself to fall into some philanthropist work as he began his own foundation, which was called Gile Haiti. Now, with this foundation, there were many efforts that were made. There were many different projects that were worked upon. Yes, indeed, he was able to raise over $1 million for the 2010 Haiti earthquake impact. And not only that, but he built disaster relief funds and also built teams for road maintenance and street cleaning and funds for hospitals and medical clinics. he really took it upon himself to say, okay, I was able to achieve a, a decent amount of success. Let me go back to my home country and provide some help for those who really need it. Unfortunately, the system in which he was operating his foundation, it wasn't able to last too long, as legality issues and problems involving potential tax evasion led to the demise of his foundation. He was still able to go ahead and stick his head into the political game, as Wyclef Jean went as far as running for president of Haiti. Now, he was putting forth his efforts and was able to rally up a good amount of supporters behind him. But unfortunately, due to him not fully knowing the system and different conflicts within the political system of Haiti, as well as certain requirements that needed to be fulfilled, that wasn't able to fully work through as well. Unfortunately, there were many different disputes between the common people of his authenticity, the authenticity of his character, being that he was born in Haiti. And yes, he was raised in Haiti for his earlier life, but he did not necessarily build his life in Haiti. That's not where many people could say that he grew to become a man or matured or got to experience much of life. But with that being said, he was still able to identify with the culture and represent and demonstrate the goodness of it through his career. Unfortunately, with Haiti, there's a requirement when running for presidential elections that you're supposed to live in Haiti for a total of 5 years in order to be eligible to run for president, whether you were born there or not. But unfortunately, Wyclef did not fulfill that requirement. And amongst many other issues, that was the main issue that took him out of the race, unfortunately. Not only did it upset him, but it also upset a lot of his supporters. Still, Wyclef still makes his efforts to try to put on for his culture, demonstrate his culture throughout his major platform. And now he continues to work in the music field, and he's currently trying to sign artists and build relationships with newer acts in order to build his current music business. Now, Wyclef currently still resides in America, and he's pushing forth his efforts. And still, at this moment, we could look back and say that he had a successful career. He was a monumental musician, and he did a lot for his country. Not only did he do a lot for his country, but he was able to demonstrate it in all fullness and wellness in order to shed light and be an inspiration to many others that might be of a similar background and who might want to achieve such accolades that he was able to achieve.